Dear students, today we will have a discussion regarding our problems of our country and neighboring countries. We have a lot many neighbors, that too small countries. Always the small countries between two big countries, which are called buffer states, they are always a problem for both the countries. For example, Nepal, Bhutan, Tibet, these are the countries between India and China, but they always are a problem. But anyway, we have to coax these countries to keep them always in our favor. We keep on coaxing them always. That's what India is doing. In spite of our many problems, we are trying to help these small countries, which are our neighbors, but even then problems are not being solved. They are continued right from independence. Let us think of our own problems. What is India's problem? India is the second largest country in population in the world. Nearly our population is 138 crores. This population is a major problem to us. And in territory, our population of course is very large. But depending on the population, we must have a very big territory also. But territory wise, we are seventh largest in the world. There are many countries which are very large, like Russia, China, America, many other countries which have got a lot of territory, very big territories. But compared to our population, our territory is small. Our territory is sufficient only for 50 crores. But today we are nearly 138 crores. So automatically our population is a problem. Even then, India is one of the leading countries in the developing countries. There are totally few countries which are trying to develop themselves. India is one of them. And moreover, India is one of the leading countries in the NAM. NAM means non-aligned movement. In the 20th century, there were major two blocks in the world. One is American bloc, another is the Russian bloc. But India never joined any one of these blocs. Under the leadership of our first Prime Minister Nehru, a non-aligned movement was started. Means the countries which are not in the American bloc and the countries which are not in the Russian bloc. The other countries, he was able to unite these countries which are not in any one of the blocks, and that movement is called non-aligned movement. In short, it is called NAM. India is a leader of the NAM countries. And at the same time, it is trying to secure a place in the security as a permanent member in the Security Council. But in 1950s, the offer was given to India to become a permanent member of Security Council. But because of our first Prime Minister Nehru, he gave it to China. It's unfortunate. But we have our own problems. like population. India is a country where many religions exist. The problems of religions, internal security is another problem because of growing population of some community. More than this, it is encircled by underdeveloped countries. Out of 148 underdeveloped countries, our neighboring countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Myanmar, all these countries, they secure some place in the underdeveloped countries. For example, Pakistan is in the 9th place amongst the underdeveloped countries. And Afghanistan is in the 10th place. Myanmar is in the 18th place. Bangladesh in the 19th place. Nepal in 20th place. Sri Lanka in 25th place. So these countries which are still underdeveloped, definitely there will be problem for us. Their internal problems will be pushed on us. And we have to face these weak, underdeveloped countries' problems along with our own problems. Let us think of the countries one by one. Afghanistan. Afghanistan, once it was ruled by a Hindu king, but today it is a Muslim country. And this country is facing its own instability and security, because this country was under the control of Russia sometime, then under the control of America sometimes, and then under the control of Pakistan, particularly under the control of Taliban and Islamic fundamentalism. The Islamic fundamentalism has made this Pakistan a base. Due to hilly area, lot of afim, ganja, intoxicating crops are grown in Afghanistan, which is a free trade for them, which is the main source of earning. And these intoxicating goods grown in Afghanistan are pushed into India to create some problem in our country. The ISIs and these fundamentalists' main job in Afghanistan is to kidnap the teenagers from Kashmir, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and some other nearby Muslim countries. The teenagers are kidnapped and they are brainwashed. They are trained in fundamentalism, trained as suicide bombers, and they are pushed into India. This is the major problem, sending intoxicating goods and pushing into India the Islamic terrorists. This is how along with Pakistan, Afghanistan also has become a greater problem to India. Then coming to China. China, basically it is a Buddhist country. We never had any problem up to 1962 with China. But after 1962 aggression, there was a slogan before 1962 during Nehru's rule Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai. Now that Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai slogan never exists now. When they made an attack on us in 1962, stabbed at our back, India is aware of Chinese intentions. And after 1962, when Rajiv Gandhi became Prime Minister, the relations between India and China started normalizing. Because of his visit in 1988 to China, with some agreements made with China, there was some normalcy in the relations. There was an agreement that there should be a cooperation to fight terrorism, and there should be a cooperation in mining, education, agriculture. And in 2006, we had a joint military exercise with China, and we started trade and commerce. The Nathula Pass was opened for trade and commerce between India and China. Some of our software industries branches were opened in China by Tatas and Infosys. Some branches were started in China. But though there were some agreements because of Tibet and Sikkim and oil exploration in third countries, but some of the differences still exist and they continue. China claims its hold on Arunachal Pradesh, and though there are agreements, but it is supplying rocket technology to Pakistan. So we cannot believe China. It is trying to establish its supremacy over all the countries which are our neighbors, like Myanmar, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal. To all these countries, China, by helping economically, by giving loans in excess, by extending liberal loans, China is trying to make these countries as favorable country to China. But anyway, we have to live with the existing conditions. Another country, Bangladesh, which was East Pakistan. Bangladesh was liberated in 1971 with the help of India. But even then there are differences. The major population in Bangladesh also is of Muslims. And we had some, immediately after 1971 separation of, when Bangla existed as a separate country, we had good relations because India helped them to exist as a nation. It helped to establish its railway line. For establishing everything, whatever was disturbed in 1971 war, India helped maximum. But even then, we face some problems with Bangladesh also. The construction of Farakka dam on and water distribution. This agreement was held in 1996. But this agreement has to be renewed in every 5 years. And both the countries agreed the bus connections between the countries from Kolkata to Dhaka, and goods from Bangladesh are imported without excise, and there was an agreement on both the sides of border 150 meters of area should be developed, but it is not being done by Bangladesh. Another major problem, the illegal entries of Bengalis, Bangladeshi people, Muslims particularly, entering into India, particularly in northern side of India. And they are entering maximum in northeast states of India, particularly in Assam. Because of the Bengali Muslims, Bangladeshi Muslims entering into Assam, the Muslim population in Assam is increasing day by day and giving shelter to the terrorist organizations in Bangladesh like ULFA. There was an agreement between Myanmar and India to set a gas line between the countries, Myanmar and India. Bangladesh is putting an obstruction for establishing this gas pipeline. And Bangladesh is claiming Moor Dweep in Bay of Bengal, which is under the control of India, and opposing putting fence in Assam area. Why it is opposing for putting fence means its population can easily flow into Assam. So these are though India has helped it to establish as a separate country, but still we are facing problems with Bangladesh. It is also a country which has given some shelter to Chinese establishments. By that it is taking maximum help from China also. Then coming to Myanmar. With Myanmar we share land border as well as sea border. But India is helping Myanmar. There is a relation with Myanmar or Mizoram, Manipur. There is a rail connection and road connection with Myanmar. For that, more than $500 crore business is established between India and Myanmar. Railway line is being established. We are cooperative in education, satellite communication, technology, and still there are some differences. The anti-Indian activities are still going on in Myanmar too. The another problem is Rohingya Muslims. Rohingya Muslims are the major problem to India. Myanmar has removed these Rohingya Muslims from Myanmar, but they have entered India and they are given Aadhaar card, ID card, every facility, ration card, every facility is given to them by the states like Jammu and Kashmir, Kerala and Assam. They are able to get Aadhaar card, ID card and ration card in all these areas. And this is another problem for increase of this Muslim population in our country. And there is a conflict in Myanmar between military and the civil rule. Aung San Suu Kyi, who is a civilian freedom fighter who was kept in jail for some time by military government. But civilian population wants India should interfere in the matter and free Aung San Suu Kyi from her jail. But India cannot interfere in the internal matters of any other country. That is our policy. But this policy of ours is misunderstood by the people of Myanmar. That's why some differences still exist between the countries. Coming to Bhutan, Bhutan, like Nepal, it is also a kingly state. But nowadays Nepal is not a kingly state. But Bhutan is still a kingly state. It shares borders with China and India both. In 1949, a hydroelectric stations were established in Bhutan. Nearly 1000 megawatt electricity is being produced in Bhutan. And in 2007, we have a renewal of friendship treaty with Bhutan. There is an agreement between India and Bhutan. Bhutan can have its own foreign policy and it can purchase weapons from any other country. There is a lot of cooperation between India and Bhutan. Health, culture, sports, education, science and technology, and exchange of criminals and terrorists. Both the countries agree. Anyway, we had a very good relation with Bhutan. But our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, when he became Prime Minister of this country, first time, the first visit he made is to Bhutan, very small country, neighboring country. Means we have a very good relation with Bhutan amongst our neighboring countries. Coming to Nepal, Nepal also, when Nepal became independent along with India, which was also under British rule, but Nepalis wanted to be part of India. But unfortunately, our first Prime Minister did not agree for that. Anyway, when King Birendra was ruling Nepal, we had a very good relation with Nepal. We have a blood relation with Nepal. Nepalese royal family has got a blood relation with many kingly families in India. Anyway, in 2006, Nepal converted itself from kingly state to democratic country. But nowadays, we find a lot of hold of Maoists in Nepal. Because of the hold of Maoists in Nepal, we have some strained relation with Nepal nowadays. China is trying to establish, because of the Maoists in Nepal, its own hold on Nepal. Though there is a free border between Nepal and India, Nepalis are given employment in India. You might be knowing most of the security guards in India, they are mostly from Nepal. The another problem with Nepal is giving shelter to ISI activists. And Nepal is objecting for establishing a hydroelectric establishment on Mahakali River and Kosi rivers. Our friendship renewal treaty is being delayed by Nepalis because of the intervention of Maoists in Nepal. Maoists are very active nowadays in Nepal. So we find a very strained relation with Nepal. Nepal was supposed to be a part and parcel of India as Bhutan. Sikkim had almost become, it has become one of the states of India. So anyway, We lost Nepal, unfortunately, because of the policy of our first Prime Minister. But anyway, what has happened in the past we can't change now. Coming to Pakistan. Pakistan, which was divided from India on the basis of religion. A separate Muslim state was established in 47. But even then, India has a good gesture towards Pakistan. But unfortunately, we had 4 conflicts with Pakistan in 1948 because of Kashmir. In 65, because of the military rule in Pakistan by Ayub Khan, America has supplied 1,000 Phaeton tanks to Pakistan. Death of Nehru and attack of China in 1962, these made Yahya Khan to attack on India in 1965. But miserably, Pakistan failed. In 71, when India helped East Pakistan to convert itself into a new state called Bangladesh, then America helped Pakistan by sending its 7th Fleet into Bay of Bengal, by threatening India. But even then, in 71, we were successful against Pakistan. In 1998, the Kargil conflict, according to the Simla Agreement, Kargil conflict should not have happened had Indira Gandhi not, while giving the 93,000 Pakistani soldiers, she could have made an agreement to leave the POK to India, and then only we can leave our 93,000 prisoners of war. But she did not do it. She agreed for whatever Bhutto said, and because of that we had to face in 1998 this Kargil conflict also. There also we were successful. But luckily India was successful in all these 4. Unfortunately, had Nehru not stopped our army could have occupied the POK also in 48 only. But anyway, we had 4 successful fights with Pakistan in 1948, 1965, 1971 and 1998. But everyday conflict is there because it is sending continuously terrorists inside India. They have made a POK a base for training the terrorists and sending them into India. Anyway, it is giving shelter to terrorist organizations like Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar-e-Toyaba, Hizb al-Mujahideen, and many other Islamic terrorists are given shelter in Pakistan. And even they went up to making an attack in December 2001 on our parliament also. The support is by Pakistan. The Pakistan, we had 3 summit discussions with Pakistan: Simla, Lahore, Agra, but none of these summits were successful. India is helping even then Pakistan, but Pakistan is not in a position to understand its own position. Even during NAM meet also, non-aligned movement countries meet also in 2006 September, which was held in Havana. Both countries agreed to fight against terrorism, but still Pakistan is helping the terrorists. Though there was an agreement to establish road and rail link between India and Pakistan as per Lahore Samjhota. Rajasthan to Sindh establish a Thar Express, and from New Delhi to Islamabad, and from Srinagar to Muzaffarabad, Amritsar to Lahore. These agreements are there. But Pakistan is not favorable. If it doesn't stop helping terrorists, these things will not materialize. Anyway, when there was a severe earthquake in Pakistan in 2005, then also India helped Pakistan liberally on the humanitarian ground. But Pakistan is not able to learn lessons. Many differences are still with India and Pakistan. Pakistan is not allowing India to establish in Jammu and Kashmir our own projects like Baglihar Dam in Kashmir. But anyway, Pakistan is always objecting. Pakistan is giving land to China to have its economic corridor, to develop a harbour in Pakistan. The road goes through TOK, for which India has objected. But even then Pakistan is giving land to China. The last one, Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka also wanted to be a part of India, but unfortunately our leaders did not agree for that. Anyway, it remained a separate state. But in 1982, India has sent its army to Sri Lanka to maintain peace in area because of the problem increased by LTTF, the Tamilian Liberation Army. India helped a lot. Sri Lanka also is one of the shark countries. India is helping economically, culturally, educationally, but even then some differences remain. When Sri Lanka was hit by tsunami in 2004 badly, India helped a lot. Even after this, Sri Lanka is objecting for Setu Samudram project. Anyway, Sri Lanka cannot exist without India. That's the fact. But it has given some naval base, scope for naval base to China also, which can establish naval base at the south end of India, which will be a permanent problem to India. With all these such neighbors, and we have to tolerate their problems along with our problems also. But to establish ourselves as a big brother, we have to keep on helping them. Because China is trying to establish its own superiority over all these countries, but it becomes necessary for India too to help these countries to keep them in the good books of India. Anyway, our government is making efforts to help these neighboring countries, but in some cases our efforts have become futile. But we cannot stop helping these countries. We have to help them, we have to keep them happy. Then only we will be happy with these neighbors. When neighbors are happy, we also will be happy. India, big, growing economic power, military power, and it has to keep these countries as our own pockets. It is very essential for us. Anyway, it depends on the political opinion to keep these countries as coaxing always and making them as our friends. It is a constant effort. It's a never-ending effort that India has to make, and let us hope that India will be successful in the years to come and we will have good relations with all these countries. Thank you.